You don't grow up expecting the people who raised you to also undermine you. Parents are supposed to protect you, to make you feel safe and seen. But toxic parents rarely announce themselves as villains. They hide behind sacrifice, behind the mask of, "I know what's best." And their control is rarely loud. It's quiet. A sigh that makes you second guess. A silence that forces you to question your worth. That's the cruelest part, when control comes disguised as love. Stay with me until the end, because the last trick explains why children of toxic parents struggle to break free, long into adulthood. One of the most common tools is comparison. Toxic parents hold up other children like mirrors. Look at your cousin. Look how well they're doing. Why can't you be more like them? On the surface, it seems like motivation, but psychologists call this conditional regard, the message that you only matter when you meet their standards. Over time, it eats away at individuality. You stop asking who you are, and you start performing who they want you to be. Another manipulation trick is guilt. Not the kind of guilt that teaches right from wrong, but the kind that feels like an emotional debt you can never repay. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? That isn't guidance. It's blackmail. It binds you to a false contract, unquestioning obedience in exchange for the illusion of love. And every time you try to resist, guilt drags you back into compliance. Fear is another layer. Sometimes it's spoken directly. "You'd never survive without me." Other times, it's subtle. Constant reminders that the world outside is dangerous. That you're too weak, too naive, too dependent to make it on your own. This isn't protection. It's psychological imprisonment. The aim is not to prepare you for life, but to keep you small enough to remain under their control. Some parents twist reality itself. Gaslighting isn't only a tactic used by partners. It thrives in families too. That never happened. You're too sensitive. You're imagining things. When your own memory becomes unreliable, when every protest is dismissed, you begin to doubt yourself instead of them. And because they're your parents, the very people you were taught to trust, the confusion cuts deeper. You start to wonder if the problem is you, not them. Another trick comes disguised as kindness. A sudden gift, unexpected money, or a helpful favor you didn't ask for. At first, it feels generous, but later, it comes back as leverage. "Remember when I helped you? You owe me." This is coercive reciprocity, generosity that was never free, a trap dressed up as love. By the time you realize the price tag, you've already lost the freedom to say no. And perhaps the most silent weapon of all is withdrawal. The look of disappointment, the cold shoulder, the silent treatment that lasts hours or days. Even a raised eyebrow, enough to remind you your opinion doesn't matter. It's a form of psychological training. Act the way they want and you're rewarded with warmth. Defy them and you're punished with distance. Over years, you learn to chase their approval like oxygen, until you no longer need their silence to control you, because you've already trained yourself to obey before they even have to ask. And the last trick doesn't look like a trick at all. It's the quietest, most dangerous one, because it hides in plain sight. Toxic parents convince you this is just family life, that everyone grows up under the same pressure, that silence, guilt, and comparisons are simply normal. When control feels ordinary, you stop questioning it. That's how the cycle locks in. Psychologists call it normalization, and it's the reason so many children of toxic parents struggle to break free, long into adulthood. Because once you believe this is how love works, you repeat it. You tolerate it in partners. You silence yourself in friendships. You carry guilt like a second skin. These patterns don't end on their own. They echo forward until you break them. And breaking them begins with clarity, not excuses, not denial. Clarity is naming the trick for what it is. Because the moment you call manipulation by its name, you break the spell. And when you break the spell, you take back the right to write your own script, not the one they forced on you. And if this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe to stand with others who choose clarity over confusion, because the more you see through their tricks, the less power they have. This is the Cold Narrator. Cold clarity against toxic games.